Hello, my name is Megumi Yoshieda. Welcome to my presentation. I'd like to share my research using the PowerPoint. So please wait when I am preparing. Okay, the title of my research is Developing L2 Academic Writing Skills Through Content-Based Instruction. Okay, let me move myself to the corner so that I don't have to hide the content. Okay, and my name is Megumi Yoshieda again, and I am from Nagoya University of Foreign Studies in Japan. Okay, let me introduce my research from the problems. Yes, we have a problem on L2 academic writing regarding instructions, tools, and topic features. According to he, in 2019, L2 students show high concern and difficulty in academic writing, and so as my students. Therefore, my objective is to uncover students' nature and their needs to develop writing and to understand the content toward manageable writing. This research was based on 4 research areas, including first, communicative language teaching, second, process writing, third, assessing writing, and fourth, content-based instruction. Starting from communicative language teaching, while process writing is a fuller version of communicative language teaching. However, it has controversial results because of the writing class being small sample sizes and L2 has different contexts. And the main issues in process writing are the time and labor for us to offer feedback. The good news is from Zhang that dividing tasks into several stages in the process writing made it manageable for the students to write academic essays. So we can do that. Assessing writing is another core aspect of helping process writing. However, L2 writers require different evaluation criteria from L1 writers, and L2 writing instructions are diverse in context. Now, content-based instruction in process writing allows writers to add information as often as they revise, and that can help them to understand unfamiliar topics such as academic writing. However, Highland mentions that unfamiliar topics sometimes demotivate them. And in 2017, Reachers also states that specific methods are not yet prescribed in CBI. Therefore, research issue is in diverse L2 contexts, we don't have personalized topics and collaborative strategies are not established. Then what is a well-designed and manageable writing process for the L2s? I set 3 research questions. 1. How do students engage in process writing? 2. How does process writing improve students' academic writing skills? 3. How do students develop their understanding of the content? Here are the methods to answer these questions. Let me make myself a little more small. Okay, participants. I had 14 second-year university students in Nagoya. Their English levels ranged from 427 to 490 in TOEFL scores. Lessons were provided 90 minutes once a week for 15 weeks last year. Consent were received in consent forms from all participants. Four sources of data were obtained in this research, starting from pre-survey and then four essays assessment on draft twos and draft threes. So total of 8 assessments were done. Post-survey and interviews were carried out on week 15. Four argumentative essays were written by the students. The first topic was electronic voting. Second, smoking ban in all public spaces. 3, children's smartphone use. And 4, nuclear power generation. I required 4 paragraphs at first and finally 5 paragraphs. Words requirement was over 300 words to 500 words. 5 stages of process writing were introduced, starting from week 1 to write draft 1, then week 2 revise to draft 2, week 3 submit draft 2 with rubrics, and I gave them feedback. Week 4 they peer check the feedback and revise to draft 3. Week 5 draft 3 submission with the rubrics again. Rubrics were attached to draft 2 and draft 3. They were modified from Lee and Van Patten. The feature is that they had high score ratios on important points. They also had blank spaces for the students to fill in to personalize the feedback. Later, if I have time, I'd like to share the PDF of the rubrics. Results were obtained. First, from pre-survey, students showed similar basic writing backgrounds, including the TOEFL scores. Second, I obtained essay assessment results. Number 3, from the post-survey, I obtained quantitative data as well as qualitative data in written forms. Number 4, I obtained interview results from 3 focus students. Here are the results from essay assessments. Please take a look at the orange line. This is final scores in each essay. In essay 1, students obtained 10 points. The line gradually increases and finally they scored 23 points. More interesting result is in the second graph. Please take a look at the blue line. This represents differences between draft 2 and draft 3 in each essay. In the first essay, they didn't have any improvement from draft 2 to draft 3. But then in the final essay, they had 8 points increase from draft 2 to draft 3. Okay, next, post-survey quantitative results. I asked students their confidence in essay statements and the effects of peers in discussions and topic preferences. First, confidence changed. In 6-point Likert scales, students chose the number, and gradually from essay 1 to essay 4, they became confident in stating in their essay. Next, I asked how many students listened to their peers and after discussions changed the opinion or convinced the position or had a second thought. Thankfully, no one did not listen to their peers. And then in essay 2, smoking ban, only one person changed the position and only one person had a second thought. Most people had convinced their position. Whereas in essay 4, nuclear power generation, many people were not convinced in their position and 6 people had a second thought. So I checked the pro-con ratios in each topic. As you can see, In essay 4, nuclear power generation, ideal pro-con ratios were seen because pro side and con side both had the same number of people. However, in essay 2, smoking ban, I could only find pro position essays. Now, reflections on essay topics in 6-point Likert scale is shown. Because the topics should be interesting and it shouldn't be too hard for the students to be engaged in, I asked how interesting they were and how hard. Number one, the most interesting essay was children's smartphone use. And then the hardest essay revealed to be nuclear power generation. To summarize, essay 3 was the most interesting, and essay 4 was chosen the best stated essay. And it triggered second thoughts the most. It had even number of writers on both positions, but it was the hardest. And essay 2 smoking ban was the least discussed. To analyze the qualitative data, I used grounded theory by Kasper, starting from coding and making it to categories and formulate the theory. Let me go on to qualitative data of post-survey. Students mentioned they engaged in 4 aspects. 1. Reflection of improvement by the rubrics. Discussions, revisions, reactions from the audience, and gaining knowledge on the topics. Again, students mentioned the useful strategies were 1. Following the rubrics, 2. Self-revision, 3. Reading and listening to peers in discussion, 4. Making clear to the audience, and 5. Searching for multiple proofs. Then students preferred topics with the feature that is abundant proofs for both positions, and then topic familiarity as children's smartphone use indicates, and then feeling of accomplishment. In addition, what students thought in real life contexts are Kumi mentioned on e-voting that when she went to a general election, she almost miswrote a candidate's name. And she thought, oh, maybe e-voting is good. Miko wrote about children's smartphone use. When she finished this essay, she wanted mothers to read it so that they can rethink of giving children a smartphone. And Ran wrote her struggle on nuclear power point because it was super hard to stay pro since she knew victims in Fukushima. Now, result 4 interviews. Essay scores by 3 interviewees are shown here. Nico, Eta, and Kumi were my interviewees. They are all pseudonyms, and their TOEFL scores are high, low, and intermediate. And essay scores that they gained were validated by 2 expert instructors in a different holistic rubric. As you can see, Nico showed constant performance. Eta had a drop in his essay 4, and Kumi's scores were fluctuating. So I had diverse interviewees. Result from the interviews. I found 6 commonalities among them. They all appreciated revision. Peer activities were important for them. They were aware of the audience. They noticed improvements in both writing skills and content knowledge, and their next goal was to find better proofs. The new information from this interview was that pro-con discussions were stressful for them. And they showed 3 differences in topic preferences, topic familiarity, and their management skills. Topic preferences. are shown in this table. As you can see, they had various preferences. Next, it made me consider that the relationship of topic familiarity and essay scores needed consideration because Nico and Kumi were confused by thinking about their family who smoke. And as a result, Kumi showed only 12 points in smoking ban essay. Ada recalled his conversation with his parents, who live close to the nuclear power plant, and his essay point was 15 on nuclear power generation. However, Nico still showed constant performance. Why? She seemed to have acquired some management skills. As she mentioned, I used much time to build the outline, so I didn't have a hard time writing an essay. In addition, she said, I am a heavy user of the rubrics. So let me go into the discussion and try to answer research questions. 1. How do students engage in process writing? By self-revision using the rubrics and discussions and peer revisions. And going into details of using the rubrics, student found 6 functions. 1. Revising. 2. Overall check. 3. Assessment. 4. Reminding the key aspects. 5. Structuring. And 6. Reflecting the revision. These 6 functions match the scaffoldings described in Brown and Lee. Therefore, rubrics seem to have scaffolded their writing. Going into details of engaging in peer activities, they answered that they engaged in input, sharing, encouraging, and testing. And this testing aspect seemed to cause stress. Question 2. How does process writing improve students' academic writing skills? By using the rubrics repeatedly, by writing on suitable topics, and by searching for proofs. Regarding topic features, topic familiarity, yes, it supports, but sometimes plays negatively. And then abundant proofs for both positions are supportive for discussions. And diverse preferences were shown. Question 3. How do students develop their understanding of the content? They reflect the essays by rubrics and they discuss and they think in a real life context. That result in understanding, and then they got a sense of joy to gain knowledge. They got a sense of accomplishment. In conclusion, rubrics, when personalized and used repeatedly, were effective in 6 functions. Discussions in process writing reported learning how to write as well as gaining content. Discussions in process writing supported learning how to write as well as gaining content knowledge. Topics with abundant proofs in CBI helped students understand the content in a real life context. Implications. So, categories to assess students' thinking to cover the struggles in topic familiarity is needed in the rubrics. Cautions are required on discussions as students feel stress in debating. Diverse current topics are suitable, which are socially argued enough to show abundant proofs on both sides. Future issue is, according to Hedge, assessment of thinking in writing may guide students to more complex thinking, but time, labor, proper assessment tools are needed. So my next target would be to examine additional categories in the rubrics to support the development of thinking, such as the rubric by Tada, and then personalize them to manageable writing. Thank you so very much for listening. This is Megumi Yoshieda, and here are the references.